I should be fine now. How's that? Is it, could you hear me now? Cool. Okay. I was just thanking my support group, the people who out there who can, who've been supporting the broadcast through the years. I think it's been 3-4 years now of just continuous support, and I couldn't ask for a better support team. Shout out to Caro University, patreon.com/Kev Gillz TV, of course. My moderators, people in the chat room for keeping that going. What an unbelievable night. The conspiracy. I've been in thought, like just deep thinking pretty much all night this morning, especially about Candice Owens. And what makes her go so hard on black folks. So I've been up kind of studying her get down per se. And it's pretty quite simple. I guess I'm not the first person to just say she's in defense of these big corporations while pretending she's exposing Black Lives Matter or Kanye West. With Kanye West being anti-Semitic this week, that's a tough call to be defensive of Kanye West during anti-Semitic week. You feel me? That's kind of risky. That's kind of a risky move given the audience, but when you work for both sides of the same coin, it's really not. Shout out to you, Nia. I see you, Nia. Shout out to you. Let me see who up in here. Amanda said, what's up with you, said? Let's see who else up in here. Brittany's up in here. Wish, shout out to you. Royal Purple. Mr. Bay, shout out to you. Forest Glory, shout out to you. Double Up, what's up, King? Good to see you out here. Bree, I haven't saw you in a minute. Danny Boy is up there. Okay, we gonna keep working. One of the things people are like, what the hell? Candace responded to Kev? Oh yes, Candice Owens responded not only to Kev, she responded to our callers who called her out on her Caribbean roots and this sense of blackness that all the Caribbeans seem to have. Now, I'm not saying that Caribbeans aren't black, because they are. What the fuck? What I'm saying is our roots are totally different from theirs. Our history here in America is totally different from everybody else's history in America, including the Haitians who fought with the Confederacy, who fought against you. So yes, I'm saying our so-called story of enslaved or indentured servitude is not a Haitian story. It's not a Dominican. It's not a Caribbean island story. You guys got your own history dealing with the French and how you guys came about. Our struggle is a lot different. You guys perceive Afro-Americans from a different standpoint, and there's no need to sugarcoat it, because you can't play both sides like a lot of these Caribbean folk do. And I see Candice Owens playing the same card with the I'm Caribbean and getting the people. It's really just stupid, if you ask me. Everybody's saying black, but I'm realizing international black folk don't understand that we were classified as black. We're not really a color. Press one. We're not a color. And you guys can't come be an immigrant and loop yourselves with us under the guise of black. And that's why I call y'all the Pirates of the Caribbean. Because it's like you hijack our story of servitude by way of the federal government and the Red Cross, and then you go off and manipulate the story into various different things that has nothing to do with the original folk whose communities were totally destroyed. I mean, you guys come here and act like you know our history better than us when it's really a reconfirmation of the Rockefeller history we already know. Press 1. So Candice Owens, in reality, there's no like real need for you in the black community. And I see why people are like, yeah, I don't even like this, bro. And it's true. And it's not that I don't like her. She's pretty cool or whatever the fuck. But her rhetoric that she spews is very dangerous to us waking up to any one of these political parties that's against us. We're not like some volleyball. They just keep bouncing back and forth. Whoever uses the best rhetoric. We're sincerely trying to come out of this slump that we've been in over the last 100 some odd years. Press 1. And I think that it's important that we be true to ourselves and know who we are and not allow outsiders to sway us back to Africa or cling on to us as if our stories are their stories. A lot of these people will even say our people were sharecroppers. Goddamn sharecroppers. If your family is a sharecropper, where your reparations at? Why you ain't fighting for reparations? Because you didn't get your share. So we gonna get to a little historical fact with Candice Owens, if that's okay with y'all today. Yeah, because our story, a lot of them come and like Candice Owens say we and then black, and then she turned her Caribbean people against blacks. They're good for that. And they say, oh, we're Afro-American and we don't let these things stop us. Yes, you do. You suffer racism just like we do. The Afro-Latino suffers racism just like the Afro-American. So this whole persona and this whole fake roots of talking Ebonics, it's just false. A lot of these, it's just made up stories that these, that's why I call her Candice Kardashian. She acts just like a Kardashian. She talks like a Kardashian. She dresses like a fucking Kardashian. And to sit here and pretend like you're us and you're actually married to a sovereign false royal. Press 1 who stole the crown, and their families have raped and pillaged Africa beyond recognition. Press 1.
Shame.
It's one thing.
Shame.
It's one thing
Shame.
to date out your race. Okay? It's one thing to date out your race. Okay? But when you go straight for royalty, okay, the ones who raped and pillaged, press 1, the world, okay, then when the Romanovs end up, look at the Queen Elizabeth. This is one of her kids, Queen, what's it, the one that just croaked over and fell in the mud. Press 1. The one right there, the wizard, the lizard. Her. I'm American. I don't give two fucks about them royals over there who stole the crown. So I don't care about her husband the way she do. And this is another thing. How you gonna go get the son? How you gonna go marry the sons and daughter of King Leopold? Press 1. How you gonna go and then get the nerve to sit up here and act like you know some goddamn history? Do you know your family history? You not American no more. You the only married woman walking around with your last name. Your name is Farmer. Your name is Candice Farmer Royal Your Highness from Europe. That's your goddamn name. You know, damn American. Press 1. Use a democracy selling ass, communistic pushing, under the radar corporate. Press 1. Working your magic. And I was fooled. I thought you was really for Trump. See, you're not for Trump. You're not for Trump. No. I know the false ones when I see it. You for sale. That you ain't for Trump. You for sale. Press 1. You will go with anybody. You will turn against your own people for $1. Press 1 for a greenback. You will go, and it's embarrassing. I know white folks sit up there and look at this one right here. This one ain't shit. How much does it cost to just betray my people? How much to make it seem like they fought? What you want me to say? I bet you her and her husband have pep rallies on what to tell your black ass. He wake up and got a whole whiteboard on what she gonna say to you today. Press 1. That's another thing. That's another thing. Press 1. When you married to a royal, them some snobby motherfuckers. They don't care about us in South Central, Detroit, and they don't have no sympathy. Press 1. The royals, they don't have no sympathy. The lords of whatever, they really just Dutch people. They ain't got no respect for us over here in the Americas. And you over here talking about this is a place where you can pick yourself up, ain't no racism, and you're a nationalist. We'll get to it. I thought she was cool, but no, she ain't cool. They be stealing little PowerPoints, but for the corporation. See? They be stealing PowerPoint. How was her documentary? Press 1. Shit. What'd I tell you? Shit. She spent the whole night doing what? Talking about her Caribbean family. You don't believe me? Press 1. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Let's go to the video. Press 1. Let's go to the video. Press 1. Like we care about this. We don't even like people who dress like this. I'm going to be real with you. Y'all uppity ass. Press 1. Now I want y'all to listen carefully to this one right here. She real slick with this little perm. Press 1. And I don't care what nobody say. This is Candice Kardashian here. Candice Kardashian. That's her name. She want to be a Kardashian so bad it's oozing. The limelight is oozing out of her. Press 1. The limelight is just, please, I want to be bigger than TMZ. Press 1. She wearing Kim Kardashian clothes, huh? Them Kim clothes. I told you. Ain't no way, boy. Press 1. Press 1.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Look, in the chat room, somebody she wearing Kim Kardashian clothes. Motherfucker can't get that out of his brain now. Everything she do, we own her. Press 1. I got some more proof, man. It's embarrassing. She trying to act like no black people dress like this. Kim, come on out of there. Come on out of that black body, girl. Quit playing. You can't fool us no more. It's over, girl. It's over. Press 1. It's over. Lord have mercy, Kim. What the hell is wrong with you? So let's go to the video. Let's listen to Candice Kardashian. That's one in her response to Mr. Gillespie in his crazy chat room. Who proved, not just said, we proved she wasn't even, she got a green card, most likely.
I love it. I love it. It is exactly, as I said, what we were seeking to accomplish. Next question. Do you talk much about your Caribbean roots? We know about your grandfather being an amazing man working as a sharecropper. What about your island family?
Shame.
Jay.
Shame. Shame.
No, yeah, Jay wrote. Yeah, some guy named Jay. Oh, let's go to the fucking weirdo ass woman. That's why you're dumb. Press 1, and you're dumb. Hey, do you talk much about your Caribbean? Who writes shit like this? We know about your grandfather being an amazing man working as a as a sharecropper. You know our granddaddies wasn't no goddamn sharecropper. My granddaddy was in the church. Her time frames is all fucked up. Your grandmother was a sharecropper, huh? Candice, your granddaddy, was a goddamn sharecropper. Hey, listen to this, Candice. Just look at the person sitting next to you and say,
"Not like this. Not like this."
What's wrong with you? My granddaddy was amazing. Woo, what about your island family? Care to share? Do you visit them often? Press 1. Oh my goodness. Somebody said my granddaddy was in construction and shit. What the fuck did she took? Kim, come out of there, Kim. What's wrong with you?
Care to share? Do you visit them often? Actually, the last trip that my grandfather and I did when he was alive was last year, and the entire family went to St. Thomas, and we rented a house and got to spend that last time with him.
St. Thomas, the island?
I do talk a lot about my Caribbean roots. I guess I could talk more about it. I definitely spoke about it in my book because
Nobody buys the book.
my grandparents had such an amazing impact on my life.
She going in, and you know she's supposed to be her movie premiere. Press what? She can't get this shit off her head. Watching my show is toxic.
My grandmother is from St. Thomas, and
So her granddaddy and her grandmother is both from St. Thomas, right there.
in fact, it's so funny that people are so stupid.
Oh. Why are they stupid?
That online, one of the themes against me is Candace isn't even Black American.
Shame. Shame.
This is so bad.
Shame.
She want to laugh. First one, Candice, you know better. Stop it. Why she get a little attitude? Where does niggatry come from? Oh my goodness, she turned into Kim Kardashian with an attitude real quick. I like that one. One of the themes online, especially online, is Candace is not even
Against me is Candace isn't even Black American. She's from the Caribbean. It's like, no, I have one grandparent that is from the Caribbean.
okay. And where's the other one?
And then I have one grandparent that's from a sharecropping farm in the South.
Wait a minute. That's not what you just said. You said they was both in the Caribbean. Now, normally I would play this fucking video back, but my audience is pretty swift. You said they both from the Caribbean, but now remembering back who was a sharecropper from the South.
So it's just utterly stupid to suggest that I'm not Black American when I am American. I was born in this country.
Oh my goodness. You're not Black American, woman. You're not American. Lord have mercy. Yeah, we gotta know what part of the South, Candace. What part of the South, woman? Where? Sharecropper. So while he's sharecropping, the other one is over there? Yeah. Why she blinking so? Because she telling fables. She more than likely telling fables while she worried about Kim Kardashian.
So it's just utterly stupid to suggest that I'm not Black American when I am American. I was born in this country. But yeah, I actually, and this is a fact, Caribbean Americans are a more successful group of people. So I think that it must be my Caribbean roots that compels me not to accept narratives that are given to me.
Shame.
What?
Shame. Shame.
Huh? You're out. We trading her right now. Press. Oh hell no. What?
by the media. I really do believe that there's something about Caribbeans that we're less inclined to believe a lot of the lies, and that's also true of true African Americans, not Black Americans.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Now, no, Mike and Charles, I don't want to hear nothing. Do you hear what I'm saying? Press 1 if you get my dilemma with these people. She Caribbean. She go way over to Africa, not us. Not us. Not you. So there's a distinction. Press 1. There it is there. There is, she knows this. She knows this. There is, so why she playing and trying to pass the liberal thing down like some liberal. I'm not liberal. I'm conservative, and I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. Press 1. Yeah, you're going, oh, true African Americans, not Black Americans. Now listen to that again. See, you can, all you have to do is listen to these people. Listen.
African Americans, not Black Americans, believe a lot of the lies, and that's also true of true African Americans, not Black Americans, but African Americans. When we have immigrants, they're an incredibly successful group. Caribbean Americans and true African Americans are successful when they come here.
Okay, so true African Americans and true, they are all Black. Do you see the difference? They are opposite of us. They are something else other than us and guise themselves as Black. Okay, the term Black, okay, is dead in law, in the law book. It's dead. Refugee, immigrant. They are immigrants. They are Black African Americans and Caribbean Black Americans. We are not Black. We ain't them. Nor are we of the federal government. We was here before them. We was here before all these people who came over by way of federal government who slaughtered who? Us. So who's riding around with names like Candice Owens, but she's really royalty from where? Or she may even be in blackface. Who the fuck knows? It's 2022. Who the fuck knows? So the Black umbrella is false. You being Black is not even real. This is what islanders, what do I call them? Pirates of the Caribbean must do. While you're Black, they got Candice Owens' name. They got Kevin name. They got English names. Michael and this one and that one. Meanwhile, in their homeland, they got a whole different name. She's married to somebody else. Let's listen to her.
And that is because maybe we just perceive this to be a land of opportunity, and we don't allow these oppression narratives to work on us.
Oppression narratives to work on us. Have the the colonial American been oppressed in this nation since its fall? Oh, yes. What narrative, when it's truth? What narrative when it's truth?
I have a lot of Caribbean pride, and I also think Rihanna's a vibe.
Oh, I think Rihanna's a vibe. What else?
Just wanted to say that. I think Nicki Minaj is a vibe.
I think they're a vibe, yeah. I think that they destroyed hip hop. So you go against Cardi B, but you're for, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You attack Cardi B for her language and her TikTok rocking this one, but you're for, shout out, but it's a vibe with Nicki Minaj and Rihanna. You attack Kim, totally go at Cardi B like Tasha K. But it's a vibe. Didn't I tell you? Shout out to The Journey of Sin. Playing both sides. Press 1. It's a vibe. Playing both sides. Hypocrite. That is hypocrisy at its finest. Right here, live on the show. Press 1. Feel free at any time to call in 424-209-9506. That is hypocrisy at its finest. Both sending out the same message. The black and white. The Kanye, the Candace. Press 1. We need to see Kim and Candace together. Hit that like button, subscribe, contribute to the program. My Cash App, my cash tag is right below me. Sign up is right below me. She trying to offend us purposely. Of course. This is her main thing. I had no idea. I come on the internet honestly telling you I'm voting for Trump because of this, and this. I have no corporate backing. Nobody behind me with a battery in my back. That's a regular decision saying he's better than them. He's better than them. So fine. Incredible. Incredible. Just the hypocrisy alone is dangerous. It's dangerous.
And just wanted to say that. Caribbean girls, unite.
Caribbean girls, unite. Press 1. She's one of these media junkies that can just pull things out the ass.
Next, can you please elaborate on why you do not use MAC products? What products of MAC did you use, and what did you think after months of me being so frustrated about the cystic acne? She said, "You're not using this, are you?" And I said,
Press 1. Who knows who this person is? I don't know. That's just weird to me. That's weird to me. First, your parents being from, I don't even believe that story anymore. Your parents being from wherever. Just you're Caribbean. And you don't want to admit it. The truth is you're watching the show and the truth is oh shit, they found out I'm not really, I have to prove that my granddaddy is a sharecropping Caribbean that was a sharecropper in the South. You don't have to make these things up. It's okay. Max, stand the fuck up. She tripping, Max. What are you running from who you are? Because the truth is, to know our history, because she was sent to attach herself to us. That's why. In all urban conservatives awakening, and you don't not Democrats as well, just people awakening, and their plan is you got to vote this way, and a liberal thinks like this, and a Republican is a fine conservative, and it's this. No. You vote for what's better for you and with an outlook on a nation if we're voting for presidents and shit like that. But mainly it's for the state, your community. State representatives is great. What the Republicans are good at, and which I really hate, is that they talk about the Democratic policies that keep black people down in blackface. But they keep those people in power. They benefit from that. Then Donald Trump releases the red tape, gentrification going on every goddamn where. Because the people aren't prepared mentally. Then you throw Candice Owens out there and say, see, us foreign black American, African Americans do a lot better. Y'all get visas and shit. We We don't have the luxury. Every black American think we'll never make it to Harvard or none of these damn universities. Shit. Facts. You better have a plan when you come over here as an immigrant. You better have a plan. But our history is totally different from y'all's. Hell, if we wasn't so asleep, you wouldn't be here. If we wasn't so destroyed, you wouldn't have a leg up. You better think. You better think these niggas that they retarded. Because if they studied trades the way they battle rap, this world would be through with. If they was out here studying themselves and trade and doing what they love to do honestly, besides rap music to turn a buck and take care of their families, you'll be fucked up. They'll be voting correctly. They'll be like, who? We don't know them. Press 1. We don't know them. We don't want 30 billion over there. We want this over here. Are we going to the legislative branch? Press 1. They don't want a bunch of real informed conservative or progressives. I don't call you no damn liberal. I don't call you what you are. You're a progressive. That's all. Don't let these socialists, Marxists, Nazis play ping pong with your brain. They are all the same. Nazism and Bolshevikism with Marxism, communism by corporate descent is all destruction for you and your people. That's why you come into a point. You know why God is exposing? Because you got to come to a point to say, what do you really want? God is leaving you no choice. He's exposing the Democrat and the Republican. We leaving no choice. You don't even want none of that shit. Like, what else is it? That's right. You don't know this, but there's other means that you can grasp on too. You don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican. None of that shit. You don't have to be neither one of them. You can form your own political party. You can form your own. You can take one that's already there. You can do away with political party and establish a monarchy. You can do whatever you want. You know why? Because you are the people. You got to come out the mindset of television of fear is something and liberal and progressive and nothing. No, you are you're a special person in America. That's the thing about it. And then this woman is insane. And it just now hit me. This woman insane. Now listen to this retarded shit when she debating Mr. Cornel West. Just listen to her.
Years after slavery, the black community was doing better. We were going up, up, up.
That was Candice Owens arguing.
Years after slavery, the black community was doing better. We were going up, up, up.
That was Candice Owens.
After slavery, this is why. Hold up, yo. We was going up, up, up. After slavery, we was going up, up, up. Press 1, and then the Democrats. Press 1. This is what her husband told her. Whoever her man is that led her to think that you was in after slavery, you was in the up, up, up. Huh? That's why you're not capable of understanding us. That's why we don't like you. We were never on no up, up, up after the damn federal government put us in internment camps by way of the Red Cross. See, I don't say slavery. Press 1, I identify. Press 1, I identify. I identify. Slavery, what? We ain't no damn slavery. We was taken captive. More like prisoners of war who can come outside and go to the movies. That's about it. Press 1. And if you don't know our history, I do. I'm the one who know our cities across America was bombed with real airplanes and bombs. You don't know that because your husband was part of the families who didn't. Press 1.
Shame. Shame.
So you can never defend
Shame.
us. You against us by way of marriage. you an enemy, because you the lords over there are the controllers of our estate. So you, with that funny ass, stupid ass shoulder blade outfit you got on, press one of the Kim Kardashian clothes, you need to do some history about what happened to us, and not just no damn Jim Crow. Let's get back to the video.
Arguing that, hey, it is socialism that has led to the terrible economic situation for people of color. And the debate that she had was with Cornel West, as you might have seen in that.
Now, I don't like TYT. I watch sometime, especially when I'm you know, sometimes things are just on, but I got to give them something, because corporate communism is how we got here. But they make some excellent points. Now listen.
Video, Laura Ingraham hosted this debate segment, and Candice Owens said a lot of really dumb things throughout. Let's take a look.
Come on.
That's not
100
socialist.
years after slavery, the black community was doing better. We were going up, up, up. Then suddenly they socialized our community.
We were going up, up, up. I'll never forget that.
Via welfare policies, and the black community started going down, down, down.
We was going up, 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 up. Then after that, they implemented welfare, so we went down, 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 down. That's how you turn it in your historical report right here at Cairo University. That's what happened, Candice Owens. This whole time you've been in my class, that's what you come up with. After slavery, we was going up, 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 and then they gave us food stamps, and we went down, down, down.
And you're sitting here supporting a candidate that is advocating.
Cornel West like, no. Look at his face. Sometimes when you got so much wisdom and you hear something, it's just like, is this a child? It's like one of your children said some crazy shit.
For making that on a larger scale. He's saying we're not just going to do it to the black community, we're going to do it to every community in America. Well, you know his policies do not work. You know that socialism has led to more deaths than anything else in the last 100 years.
And that is true. You see, she plays both sides, but that is true. Why? Because over there in Russia, but you already know what I told you all about the history here, and how communism, not Nazism, this communistic manifesto, Margaret Sanger and these people, you feel me? All these German, Russian folk was doing this to you and caused over 100 million, 200 million deaths. They'll say Russian deaths. They'll say this and that and this and that and this and that. I'm saying Negro, Afro-colonial Americans.
So the talking point, insanity. I know. So the
he said this is
talking point that Candice Owens has been pushing. She's no longer with Turning Point USA. But
now do your research. Turning Point USA.
She was at Turning Point USA. She was paid to say that it is not systemic racism that leads to, the disparity in wealth and income between, white individuals and black individuals in America. It's because of socialist policies. It's
bingo. And it's all the same. It's all the same. But she actually worked for a firm that gave her the talking points that she uses now on you. Do you get what I'm saying? Water World, it ain't about who you can stand. It ain't about that. If we was operating out of your feelings, I wouldn't be this far. So go on over there and have a seat. Thank you. It's not about who you can stand and who you can't stand. It's about what's being said. If you get out your feelings, you'll hear who she just said Candace worked for. You get what I'm saying? So my class don't operate on who you hate, are, what your feelings are, and y'all not supporters enough for me to give a fuck about y'all feelings like that. Press 1. So, jeez, y'all don't contribute your brain. You ain't turning into work. It's for me to even give a fuck. Press 1. So, to be honest, pay attention. That's what's real, paying attention.
Individuals and black individuals in America, it's because of socialist policies. It's because of welfare.
Now listen to her. Listen to her. What is the first thing I said? I disliked him. I disliked the show. But I got to give it to him on these facts right here.
Welfare that because of socialist individuals and black individuals, white individuals and black individuals in America, it's because of socialist policies. It's because of wealth.
Yeah, and that'd fuck me up.
In wealth and income between that it is not systemic racism that leads to, the disparity in wealth and income between, white individuals and black individuals in America. It's because of socialist policies. It's because of welfare that the black community is being held down. Now, first of all, that makes no sense. We know, and we're gonna debunk that in just a second. But think about who funds Turning Point USA.
Now, who funds Turning Point USA?
They're the very corporate donors that corrupt our politicians to push for deregulation, to push for tax cuts. So look, they're very savvy. It is a multi-pronged approach. It doesn't just stop at corrupting politicians. They attempt to corrupt education. They attempt to, corrupt young minds, which is what's happening with Turning Point USA. And it's terrible and it's disgusting because systemic racism is an issue. We've given you multiple examples of that throughout the years, and just hearing her try to talk about history is hilarious.
Press 1. It's almost disgusting hearing Candice Owens talk about history,
especially considering what she had to say about white nationalism in the past.
When you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. He was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German. And thinking about how it could go bad down the line, I don't really have an issue with nationalism. I really don't.
She don't have a problem with nationalism. So I don't even think she realizing she's a robot or something. And her brain is in hypocrisy mode.
What they won't tell you about the statistics and the rise of white nationalism is that they've simply changed the data set points by widening the definition of hate crimes and upping the number of reporting agencies that are able to report on them. Black conservatives, when they have the audacity to think for themselves and become educated about our history and the myth of things like the Southern Switch and the Southern Strategy, which never happened.
The Southern Strategy did happen, and the Southern Switch did happen. Our identities was switched.
Shame. Shame.
That's why.
Shame.
That's why they dangerous. That's why. When you know your history, you will see just how dangerous that mindset is right there. It never happened. Ain't ever took nothing from y'all. The Dolls roll ain't real. Walter Plecker didn't pay for genocide, y'all. Manifest Destiny not real. No, I'm black. You gotta take advantage of the opportunity. If that ain't blackface, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. That's dangerous.
On them, Black conservatives, when they have the audacity to think for themselves and become educated about our history and the myth of things like the Southern Switch and the Southern Strategy, which never happened.
Yeah, okay. So look, people like Candice Owens lead pathetic lives because they're paid to sell their own identity out.
Oh my goodness, it's not even her identity, my Russian friend, but close enough.
And so that's just the reality of it, because none of the things that she says is true. And so I guess they get paid handsomely. I don't know how they sleep at night. So let's begin to correct the things that she said. First of all, she on 2 different occasions there, supported white nationalism, which has murdered black people in this country for hundreds of years.
Facts. Facts. Press 1. Facts. No matter how you like them, that's true, G. Doesn't matter. When you got a media group, you got to come with that right there. You got the opinion, then you come with what you got. That's facts, G. You may not like them. You may be in your feelings. That's a fact. Press 1. So y'all can say what y'all want, but to be honest, if y'all ain't call it in, that nigga Kev really don't care. Cause hold up, caller. Cause we got too much knowledge and wisdom on this. Too much invested in this. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air? What up? Oh, they hung up. Oh, okay. Her history, not ours. Listen.
It was white supremacy, the idea of that drove slavery, Jim Crow, the Klan, etc. Now you have a African-American woman paid to defend white nationalism.
She's not African-American. She's Caribbean-American. And she's an immigrant. Y'all quit trying to tie these people, but you see the trick. You got me? Once you see the trick, you be able to combat the lie on both sides. Coffee and Kush TV, Cairo University on the air. What up?
Oh, you sure?
What's up?
So, I just see Candace as a long line. I know you covered Marcus Garvey, and even before that, a long line of Caribbean and African people who have become what I understood before I started watching you as a dominant minority in their own countries. They have Indians and Chinese people as dominant minorities.
Yes.
And their country has been dominated economically by the West.
Yes.
These people went into their countries and they become the wealthy people in their countries along with a small percentage of their own population. They have poverty in their country that they do not speak of. And that's every country, including India. So when you see people who are here, I think Jamaica and the Caribbean, it may be, I don't have the statistics, but I think it's about 5% or something of the population immigrates with an education, with a college education. Yes, they're better educated than we are, but they are in black countries. They were never redlined.
Who better educated?
In their country. Better educated as far as having access to elementary school, but not better educated in the sense that, I'm speaking of us being redlined, us having separate, segregated schools.
Yeah, but I mean, separate schools, I mean, the same program is in the schools, though.
Same program is in the schools to a degree, depending on where you are. I think being from New York, that's something else. Like in the South, yes. When I would go down south, we had black teachers and the black teachers were very good. But when you have, say, in low-income families in urban areas, education is something else, And I think that's what they latch on to. That's what somebody like Candace latches on to. They don't talk about the black middle class, and when they do, it's how disconnected they are. And at the same time, they're plugged in.
Right.
Candace is totally plugged in.
Right.
In her own country, and I have family who has property in Jamaica. They're not Jamaican, but they bought property to rent. And you can see how they allow foreigners to come in their country, how they allow foreigners to take advantage, how the IMF controls what they produce. So they don't have control of their own country. But when they come here, they do the same things that Indian and Chinese people do in their country. They become the dominant minority. They become the people who move in as a minority and work under the radar and become part of the wealthy if they can. But if not, they reap the benefits.
But I don't want. This is not like a us versus them thing. This is more like a Candace, the misconceptions of Candace in our American history. Could you talk more about that and her ignorance of it?
Well, she's missing it. This is the rationale that people get when they come here. You have to understand, when people come here, you don't get on a plane and come here and stay here without a visa. In a lot of cases, they're coming for education, or they're coming through a work program or a work visa. Okay, and this is why I talk about the small minority or the class of people that come from Black countries, because it's not the majority. But Candace is talking about her experience. She has two narratives. She has one narrative is the one that she speaks to white people, which is a rationale about that both differentiates her from Black Americans and says, but I'm Black too. So that's what allows her to operate.
That doesn't make sense. I'm Black too, because she just said she's Caribbean American.
Right. But she can have that conversation with white people because they prefer to hear that conversation. If I talk about my history and my grandmother, white people shut down. They don't want to hear anything about history because
they're directly tied with that pain.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's the thing.
And with her
So
story,
she
I got you. It's easier for them to embrace foreign Blacks and their stories because they're not tied to that directly.
Right. And their relationship is different. Anybody from the Caribbean, the countries are largely tourist environments, and white people they feel comfortable with that. I can go to her country and be a tourist, and they greet me, and we're welcoming, and we don't have a history together. All we have are good times. And at the same time, her family either was wealthy because there was really no middle class, or they were service people. They service tourists or wealthy people. There is no history. And Candace will never know how dynamic our history and relationship with white people are.
Or maybe she does know and openly blocks any of that because it hurts her husband's feelings or their family feelings, and they spend so much time saying they should get over it, and they spend so much time saying, well, we're so much different than them because we're not indoctrinated with that stigma or the propaganda of the left, and then they play them with political semantics. It's like, whose side are you guys on?
Well, you know what? It's not even a side. Caribbean, because my grandmother and great-grandmother bought in a middle-class neighborhood. Most of the people who first got there were from Harlem, and they were from the South.
Yes.
Later, West Indians joined, and they became almost the majority of the population. You associate to a degree. Your children don't associate with their children. They live separate lives in a separate culture in their home. They maintain what they eat. They live separately. So to me, and I've had friends growing up who were either from the Caribbean or Africa, okay? Only when I went to school, okay? Only when I went to college.
Okay, but what about but I don't want to dive too far off of my subject and what I'm talking about of her on talking like she really is a political tool of a specific corporate entity.
She is a tool because, and this is why I'm saying about education. In education, she just the same way that whites see her as a simpler relationship.
No. I understand that. I'm talking about what I got on the screen right now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is her being separate allows her to make a career out of this.
Or maybe she's a sent person.
Unless she's a what person?
A corporate. A part of it. Not that she, that she make, yes, she can make a career, but I mean, it's much bigger than some YouTube money.
Well, an immigrant isn't a corporate person. An immigrant doesn't have. An immigrant is thinking about their opportunities. They're thinking about their job. They don't necessarily. As much as immigrants will say, I'm American, they don't leave their own country and their own culture behind.
No, they love their people. They can go home anytime and make that. Yes,
and they're here to make their money. And that's not to be cruel. That is a fact. They are here and they stay for opportunities.
Okay, but not all. I mean, I would too. I would stay for opportunity. That's not the issue. The issue is what I'm talking about on the screen. Let me get to the next caller. Thank you, Queen. I gotta go. I'm getting to the next call. Jeez. I'm talking about this right here. Talk about these facts. Take some notes and talk about that. I don't want to hear about no personal stories about you and Caribbeans and they and what we understand. Stay on course.
Etc. Now you have a African-American woman paid to defend white nationalism.
You hear what he's talking about? You got an African-American woman paid to protect a white nationalism. This shit right here.
That is disgusting. Okay. And then in the earlier clip, she talked about, African Americans were doing fine for 100 years after slavery until welfare came to help them. Really? They were doing fine? How about the lynchings?
Right? How about the lynchings? How about the lynchings? Press 1. How about the lynchings? Stay on course. Talk about how dangerous this rhetoric is. Coffee and Kush TV, you're on the air. What up?
What's up, Kev? This is Sam from Detroit.
Sam in the building. What up?
What's going on? Hey, I was up earlier. I saw your title before you got on the air. So I went and did the research and looked up, on YouTube, a bad thing. It's a bad tool. It's going to show you. So when I pulled up Candice Owens talking, it was just a specific clip that fit right into what you were saying about her yesterday. How she was saying, how she's not from here, but she came here and all that. She denounced. She said, I don't care about the American Negro history. It's all about my Caribbean history.
No, she didn't.
And the African. And the African history.
I heard that. She didn't say she didn't care. She made the same reference of how we Americans come at her when she talks about how great the Africans and the Caribbeans come over here and make more money and more success.
And make more money than us. Yeah.
But on some real shit, they really don't. But okay. Whatever.
No.
Whatever.
And then I was wondering. I'm like, then I got to thinking. I said, how did she get into this political position so fast? And seeing that, basically she was basically sent here to do exactly what she's doing, to play both sides. That's why they got her playing as Ingram Kelly, the white lady that you had on the screen the other day. She's playing both sides of the field to talk to the people, but then also to talk to us and make us think, we need to do this, like a crypto bank. That's from the Caribbean. That's not from over here. So all the money she was getting, she's sending it back over there to them. But then her company that she was working for, the media company, they was also for over in foreign countries. They weren't for America.
So she working for foreign entities. This whole corporate entity,
the whole
banking system is foreign as well, right?
It's foreign as well, bro. So I just like, dang. So I just was sitting back, and I said, let me do my little research and look at this interview with her. And I'm telling you, it popped right up. I said, wow, she must have been watching your show.
Oh, well, she loves the road. She loves Kev Gillz. You know that. Coffee.
Thanks, Kev.
Thank you for the call.
I'll let you.
My man. Let's go to the video.
About the Klan? How about the bombings of the churches where little girls were massacred?
Now, let's talk about the bombings of the churches in the early 1900s. Oh, that was so after slavery. Press 1. Oh, that was so after when we were on the up and up. Remember? Oh, no socialists then. No food stamps then, Candace. And then we was on the down and down. Press 1, down. You black folk, Aziz Abe, you need to research your own stuff. That's what you need to do. Research. You need to go back to Morocco, Mr. Bay. You ain't made a home trip yet. You ain't went back to Africa not one time, Mr. Bay, telling us what we better do. You better worry about what you better do. What you better do. We know about the corporate citizen. That shit only amuse y'all when y'all enter the earth. When y'all turn 18 and y'all start watching YouTube videos on corporate and federal citizen and straw man and UCCs. Listen, bro, we've been on earth a lot longer than that, G. Okay, my Moroccan buddy, press 1. I'm about to call the Pope. Press 1. We gonna call the Pope on that nigga. Press 1. Tell him we got a renegade over here trying to persuade us to become Morockish. Mr. Bay, stop typing and call it in.
You think they were doing fine? How about when they didn't allow African Americans to vote, even though they had the right to vote?
They could never not allow us to vote. We were always allowed to vote. Huh? They were playing civil politics.
That's what the 1964 Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act were all about. That's so the horrible years where they're being oppressed against the law and against the Constitution, you call the good years. Mm-hmm. And then when someone actually tries to help the African American community, you say, oh, that's when things started to go down, down, down. I mean, it's so perverse. And by the way,
she didn't even mention Jim Crow laws, right?
Of course.
Yeah, she didn't mention any of the stuff that actually matters.
Yeah, this is like 20, 30 years ago.
I don't know.
40, 50 years ago.
She's just pathetically stupid. And doesn't know any history at all. Or she knows the history of how brutal white nationalism and supremacy has been African Americans and thinks, I don't care at all. Where's my money? Oh, the only color I see is green. You want me to sell out black people and lie over and over and over again about how wonderful white people were to us as they were lynching us in the South? Great. Where's my check? I'm in, right? None of it is backed by facts. I mean, listen to what she said about the Nazis. She said it would have been fine if they just stayed in Germany. Really? If they just murdered all the Jews and the Poles and the minorities and the LGBT community and the Roma and all those people inside Germany, that would have been fine? That would have been fine. Do you know what Hitler did to African American athletes? Of course you don't, because you're a moron.
Of course you don't, because you're a moron. That's why. Press 1. Lord have mercy. I thought I went hard on people. Jeez Louise.
That doesn't know a goddamn thing, okay? And so now she says, oh, well, look, if they just made the trains run on time inside Germany, everything would have been hunky-dory. It's just absolutely grotesque.
And look,
I'm going to steal those words, grotesque. Grotesque.
Part of the conversation or the debate was about socialism and how destructive it is. So she attempted to fearmonger about.
Oh my goodness! Another day, It never fails. Poor Candice Owens. Poor Candice Owens. Press 1. Candice Owens gonna spend the rest of her life fighting for white people and white supremacy and how. And it just, I didn't know she fought so hard for them. Jeez Louise. But I didn't know. I didn't know who her husband was till somebody called yesterday. I didn't know. I just assumed she was Afro-American. Lord have mercy. She got all this makeup on. Look at her. She got her shoulders out. Look, press 1. I ain't never seen her with this much makeup on. Lord have mercy. Them shoulders out. Something ain't right. That's a lot of makeup in that body. Yeah, that's all. I can't. The black people, we look like normal black people, like regular people. You know, we ain't got too much, bro. We ain't gotta like squint like, is that person really? But anyway, I that makes me think a lot. I don't want to be thinking about this dumb shit. But I didn't get a chance to see her husband. Press one, and they said her husband was a lord, something from Europe, and I said, oh shit, his name was George Farmer. Press one. So I thought, why not bring him on the show today? Press one. I thought, why not bring him on the show and get a sense of how they relate to each other? Because I don't think they're in a real relationship. I'm just gossipy right now, but I'm just saying. Dude, what's up with that retarded laugh? I'm sorry if my laugh is retarded. Thank you, Brittany. That's just what it is, champion. I can't help it. That's how I was born. So anyway.
And so it goes. And yet the people that I know in my...
They'll be fine. Yeah. We've got the sturdy wall to protect us.
All right, the Candice Owens Show, London.
Well, we're good whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Okay, guys, we are rolling into another episode of the Candice Owens Show, and this one is a wedding special. No, I'm not talking about William and Kate or Harry and Meghan. I'm talking about me. I am getting married this weekend, so we decided that we were going to make this a wedding special and introduce you guys to my fiance, future husband, George Farmer. Welcome to the Candice Owens Show.
Hi, babe.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Lord have mercy. He don't even believe this is a hey, hey, babe. Where the fuck is this guy lips at? Press button. Where the fuck is his lips? How do he drink hot coffee? Press one. Nigga, how he prevent the grease from burning his tongue and getting all in? And press one. Press one. How I bet you he was from afar. I mean, if y'all was both in a coffee shop, did he lick his lip? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up, girl? What'd he do? Like, what the fuck did he do? You know what I'm saying? Hey, babe. Oh my goodness, Candace, I didn't know this. I don't want you no more.
Married this weekend, so we decided that we were going to make this a wedding special and introduce you guys to my fiance, future husband, George Farmer. Welcome to the Candice Owens Show.
Hi, babe.
Can we talk about how nervous I was to do this episode? It's so weird.
You were pretty nervous. Yeah,
I freaked out for about like 2 months saying we couldn't do the episode because I just didn't know what to talk to you about.
You were going to freeze every time we spoke.
Yeah, I know.
believe this was...
Yeah, I know.
That was the face.
I know. I was freaking out about it, but then I figured it would be easy because I could just post something on Instagram and ask people what they wanted to ask us, and we would just go through it. Yep. So we'll start with the number one question that we were asked about our relationship, which was, how did you guys meet? And it is a very, very interesting story.
Well, so...
All right. Let's see how they met.
I mean, you know the story,
yeah,
so I'll tell it from my side.
Okay.
So you came to do an event in London in December, and that was to launch Turning Point UK with Charlie. And the first time we actually met was at the RAC Club, Royal Automobile Club in London on Pall Mall. And you were giving a speech, and I think from that moment onwards, the connection was made. And then the next night we had this highly convoluted dinner, which we talked about before, where basically you thought somebody else was hosting it, and I thought I was hosting it, and then eventually you turned up 3 hours late. I would like to make that point now.
I showed up 3 hours late to a dinner where I was supposed to be seated next to him because I had no idea the dinner was going on until about 2 hours into the dinner.
Correct. Yeah.
And
it wasn't just me there. So for reference, it was like a whole host of people who were all waiting to have dinner with you.
Right.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
This is too scripted, you guys. If you believe this is scripted, improv, let me know. Press 1. If you believe this is scripted, on the spot, improv relationship, press 1. And they suck. This is terrible. Look. I always wanted to know how they meet. I was just asking this yesterday. Totally scripted scenario.
And then after that, we went back and forth to America. Well, I came to America to come to Student Action Summit.
Huh? Wait, then we came back and forth to America. Press 1, then we came back and forth to America.
At the end of last year, and then came back to the UK, and then by mid-January, we were engaged.
Right. So just to give everybody context, we got engaged after 2.5 weeks, maybe?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So, Candace, what? Come on now. 2.5 weeks. Oh, no, G.
I think it was about that time, yeah.
Right.
That's right, yeah.
I think it was about that. I think it was about that time. What time? She didn't say what time it was. She said around 2.5 weeks. She didn't say a date or nothing. She gave a specific. Y'all retarded. It's not no damn arranged nothing. Oh, it could have been arranged marriage. Oh shit! Press 1.
Right, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, whirlwind romance, I believe. Is the
I know, and
expression.
it was really strange because it was so not my character.
What, you gave it up?
For me to ever think that I would be a person that said I got engaged after 2.5 weeks. And it sort of begs the question, and something that Ali Stuckey and I talk about, because I mean, she's now pregnant, about to give birth, or probably already has given birth by the time this episode airs.
Yeah, probably.
And she actually met her fiance really quickly, and they got married. And one of the things that we always talk about is we kind of live in this culture now where people think that there's this like system, right? You need to meet somebody, you date that person for a length of time, 3
years,
5 years, then you need to get engaged, and so it goes. And yet the people that I know in my life where the relationships have lasted the longest, always a very quick engagement. My grandparents were a very, very fast engagement. I know another couple that's 25 years. They dated and were married within 6 months. I think your parents are within...
My parents were within 14 months. Yeah, and I mean, you're completely right. I mean, the people...
14 months. Listen, y'all said 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
There was a person I sat down with. I mean, telling the story to everyone is always quite interesting because you get a whole range of reactions. And I mean, we both know that there was some quite entertaining reactions at the beginning. People being like, "This is ridiculous," and "You're never going to work," and all this kind of stuff. And then there was also the reaction where I sat down with a friend of a friend, and I told him the story. And by the end of the story, he burst into tears because he said, "I've never heard something like that before, apart from my grandparents who were married for 58 years." And only, separate. Well, they didn't separate. His grandfather died. And so it's one of those things where I think our culture today encourages these kind of long romances, which don't necessarily lead anywhere. Let's put it like that.
Right.
And actually, sometimes, I mean, when you know, everyone said, when you know. And so as a result, it was kind of, when I met you, I knew, and that was it. And so it was just the case. And I love our story. I think it's an incredible story. I mean, like,
he didn't say, I love you, baby. What?
How many people can say that?
I know, not many people
can say that.
And most people are overthinking it. I know girls that are in these sort of tragedy of relationships.
Oh, she just destroys other people to validate herself so much. So much.
Years, 10 plus years, break up galore 17,000 times. Then they finally, get the ring, and that's supposed to be a celebration. Great. If it's what you want. Mine just happened in a different way. And I never thought it would happen to me to say, when you know, you know. But I definitely knew. And so.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
The other question, obviously, that people are asking is, how did he propose? Which is kind of an even crazier story.
So yeah, there's actually two proposal stories.
Right.
I think that's fair to say.
Right. I guess
so
the one without the ring.
The one without the ring, and then the one with the ring.
Right.
So the one without the ring was when I was on a plane, and I FaceTimed you, and I said, hey, I've got this, after however many weeks it was, like 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Blah. Blah. Press one. What's wrong with these people? Somebody said time immemorial. That motherfuckers, the time immemorial weeks over here. An agreed upon lie made up in history some goddamn way. All you need is two people. That's one. Where you come from? Pluto. What about you? Same place. You want to federalize that? We two Plutonians. Press one. Where do you come from? Pluto. Fucking lift your hand up. I swear to be citizen of America. Press one. Two Plutonian. I'm Plutonian American. Press one. Unfucking believable. Tragedy. It's straight tragedy. He just make it up. I think that's what makes it like Candace. That's the effect God wants you to see with me. Press one. Candace. Not you too. I mean, I thought Kev was talking shit, but damn. That's
And I said, hey, I've got this crazy question for you. I don't know how you feel about this, but I mean, this is such a 21st century, by the way, engagement.
21st century engagement. Hey, what's up? I got this crazy idea. What's that one? What do you feel about this? Nigga, why didn't your rich ass just go order someone to get the ring real quick to propose and wait? Wait, what do you think about this? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Busted lying. Just busted.
Such a 2019 engagement.
FaceTime.
FaceTime, right? Yeah. FaceTime on a BA flight. And I said, I don't really know how you feel about this, but I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and will you marry me? And I think you were so stunned by this, like, what? That you just said yes without even, like, considering the answer.
I remember just holding my phone, and I, like, pulled my car over.
Yeah, you were in your car.
I was in Florida.
I vividly remember where you were. You were just, like, staring. And I...
Okay, wait. Am I tripping? But I could have sworn she was on the plane. Because I'm into the story. I thought she was on the flight. On the phone, on the flight. all the way up until she said, but then I pulled over. This is insane.
And you said yes, and I was just like, wow, that was surprisingly easy.
Right, and what you said particularly was, I want to ask you something in case this plane goes down. Like,
oh, he was on the plane?
I mean, just
sorry,
to add a little
that's the
drama.
best line. Sorry, I forgot the best line. The best line was, yeah, in case this plane crashes.
I could have sworn, I'm gonna go back. I could have sworn she was on the plane on her way back. But this is stupid.
And I then went on like a flight where there was no Wi-Fi, so
and then I'm
Candace
thinking,
is then
of course,
freaking out for the next how many hours.
Like, now what if the plane actually crashes?
Yeah, I know.
Wait a minute, but y'all on FaceTime. What do you mean no Wi-Fi? No, bruh. Wait. Ain't no need to go back, because they just make. I know I'm not retarded. Bro. This is like the Matrix. Candice Owens is like the Matrix. Yeah. You saw a glitch.
But I obviously did not give me a ring then, because you were headed to South Africa for about 10 days on holiday.
Correct.
And then when he actually gave me the ring, which...
Why you know everything he did? He didn't even say I was on my way to or for this.
He did get down on one knee. It was a couple of weeks later.
Well, that was actually on the 14th of February, just to be really cliche.
Yeah, just to be super cliche.
And that was at a restaurant in Philadelphia where you were living at the time. And we went for a Valentine's evening date, as you do. I mean, it was that restaurant, I will never forget that. That was hilarious. We walked in there and every single table was couples. I mean, there was not a single table in that restaurant which was not a couple.
Typical Valentine's Day.
Yeah, of course. And then what happened, halfway I mean, as a guy, by the way, I mean, I will say that it's quite an interesting dynamic when you're about to get down on one knee. I mean, I've obviously only done it once, and so it was quite an experience, I'd say. You get incredibly nervous. You then have to think about the logistics of getting down on one knee, such as like, how close is the table beside you? Are you going to crash into the table beside you to get down on one knee? Which side do you go on to get down on one knee? First of all, this is all the questions you have to ask. Not only that, but I don't know whether you remember this, but it was bring your own bottle, right, to the restaurant, right? And we had the 2 bottles of wine that we were going to drink at dinner on the right. And
bring your own bottle on Valentine's Day, the day they make the most money.
the right side was much more kind of accessible to get down. So I had to kind of shift them with my feet sort of under the table across to the other side, right? So that I could clear enough space. And then I kind of
your local pub, buddy. We're talking America here.
Did my chair over. And then eventually, and then I got very nervous. And then you thought I was laughing at you because I started laughing.
We done busted them in like 10 lies already. Ain't no way you FaceTime and no Wi-Fi on a plane.
Started laughing.
I started laughing, and then I was
broke out in laughter.
And then you were like, "Do you have something on my face? Like, what's wrong?"
Yeah,
like,
I was looking for the inside joke. Like I was looking around.
You were like, "Is there something above me on my head?" And all this kind of stuff. And then I kind of like awkwardly crashed onto one knee.
Did.
Yeah, and then I was just, and then opened up the box and said, "Candice Owens, will you marry me?"
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Candice who? Who did he say?
And then opened up the box and said, "Candice Owens, Will you marry me?
Candice. Ooh. Amber Rose. Hold up. Hold up. I'm tripping. My dumb ass saying Amber Rose.
It's like, what's wrong?
Yeah,
like,
I was looking for the inside joke. Like I was looking around.
You were
for
like,
waiters.
is there something above me on my head and all this kind of stuff? And then I kind of like awkwardly crashed onto one knee.
Did.
Yeah, and then I was just, and then opened up the box and said, Candice Amber Owens, will you marry me? And at which point you froze.
Candice Amber Owens.
And then the ripple effect, again, something that you're only probably going to experience once in your life is, well, certainly for me, only once in my life, the ripple effect of asking that question around the restaurant was incredible.
I know.
It was unbelievable.
It's like winning, like we won the Super Bowl.
It was like winning a Super Bowl. It was like a bomb had gone off. I don't know what it was. It was just like all these other couples exploded.
Yeah, they exploded.
Yeah, they just exploded. The two couples on either side went mad. And then as soon as they found out, then the other couples found out. And then before we knew it, half the restaurant, and everyone was cheering and hollering, and it was incredible.
They instantly become your best friends.
Yeah, I know.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was really awesome.
And then everyone comes up to us and is like, oh, congratulations.
The girls were like, let me see the ring. Hint to the boyfriends
Yes,
that they're
exactly.
with at the restaurant.
I think we made the point that everyone else's dinner had probably been ruined. The guy's dinner had probably been ruined because of the fact that I had proposed and that there was no
suddenly the
rehearsal.
conversations got a lot more serious around us,
They were
right?
just like,
what are we doing?
Yes, exactly.
It's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years. These guys have just met.
Right. That's so true. So another question, if you want to know, is what did you do? Where did you come from? And I guess what were you? Well, how did you get into politics? You were there that night because Charlie Kirk and I were on stage having a conversation, ranting against sort of the spread of socialism and Marxism. So what is your story? Where are you from?
Well, I was born in London. I'm 28 years old and I grew up here. I grew up in London and I went to school I basically spent, up until I was 18, I spent my entire life in London. And then I went to university, and I went to University of Oxford. And I graduated Oxford in 2011.
What did you major in? When we say major, you guys just say, what did you study?
What did you study? I studied theology, religious studies, basically. And I specialized in the ancient church and did
Orthodox. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Mr. Gillespie. Oh.
Did classical Hebrew and...
No, it's not classical Hebrew. It's Orthodox Russian. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Jeez. He's a Jew. A Jew Catholic. Orthodox Christian. Russian. Oh.
Studied.
He's a Romanov. He's what we talk about here.
Two different things. I mean, in the UK, the university system, just as a side point, is quite different.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you imagine Candace coming to my class learning shit? Press 1. She got to come. She come to my class, and her husband can't challenge me on nothing. He has to sit there like. I mean, he's right. I mean, he's off here, but he's right there, and he's right. Damn.
You guys, I believe, spend 2 years sort of doing lots of different things, and then you major for the last 2 years. I think that's
kind of how it is, yeah.
Broadly how you work, right? And so in the UK, it's from age 15, you spend the next 4 years at school, next 3 years at school, deciding what you're going to study at university, in essence. And you narrow down the subjects until you eventually pick one. And then you go to university, you study that for the next 3 years. Or in the case of medicine, 7 years. In the case of law and other degrees, sometimes longer, sometimes, never shorter than 3 years. And so I studied theology, and then I graduated from Oxford in 2011. And I went into banking. I worked at an investment bank.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Bravo, Mr. Gillespie. Bravo, Mr. Gillespie. Once again, unfucking defeated. Undefeated, just like I said. I'm undefeated, okay? Just like I said. Banking, bro. Co-founder of another bank, okay? They banks just crashing all over the place, and she want to get us signed up back up under their banks. Foreign entities talking about the Democratic or the Republican, they only want the money. They're neither. They're sovereigns. Remember? It's a must you take back your right. It's a must you take back your right because Candace and her husband is enjoying the right. Press what? They enjoying the benefit with your name on it. He comes from way over there from Ukraine somewhere. She running the same scam. He is Antifa.
In London for about a year and a half. And then I left that and I have done for the last 7 years work with my father. And he and I have run a hedge fund, although it's quite an unusual fund in as much as it trades base metals and it trades, which is in the commodity sector. And it's unusual because most hedge funds are.
So your money will be backed by whose money? By whose money? Their hedge fund money? Oh, Candace. Oh, this aged well. This aged very well. This aged very well. Metals, gold, silver, banking. I told you. You can't. This is what it's about right here. Right here. Your hereditary right. The world has eaten off of you for 150 years. Candice Owens' husband, he said clear as day what he into. So she trying to sell us back into the House of London, the Lords of London, with conservative banking techniques. The liberals are thinking like this. They're the reason why the economy
involved with kind of macro long short strategies. I won't bore everyone with technical finance terms, but basically lots of kind of different portfolios, bonds, equities, everything. We were a very specialist.
Bonds, equity, that's land, G. Her husband is an enslaver, G. I told you, G. I told you this is bigger. I don't run no YouTube page. I don't run no You know what I do? Cavro University. Trust bonds. There you go, for his glory. So when I'm telling you what I study and what I mean, you think I'm caring about some goddamn trolls? About a person who, to my where Kev at? I'm studying like him. I got shit on my brain. Don't ask me where I'm at. Give a damn what that damn title say. That's them right there, G. Candace. Oh my goodness.
Fund. We just dealt in metals. We just deal in base metals, and we've always kind of specialized in that. That's what we've done. That's what I've done for the last 7 years. And then the politics side of things. So the politics has always kind of been a very big part of my family life, I guess, in some ways. I mean, my family, as you know, are quite a political family in some ways. We all have very different opinions. We're all a broad range of opinions within the family. And So from a very young age, we were all exposed to a fair amount of argument, if for want of a better term. So you know, from age 8, we were talking about kind of who the next prime minister would be and how would that affect the country. And so from a...
Do you understand? Do you understand? While you up here talking about who you gonna shoot, who you gonna kill, and all this, this is what they into, G. Okay? So she's addicted to that type of power for sure.
So from a young age, I was kind of immersed in this political culture, and that got me very interested. And then as a result, I sort of joined various politics societies when I was at school and got involved with politics at Oxford. And then my father, he sits in the House of Lords. He is a conservative. He holds the Conservative whip, which in the UK means that he is answerable to some extent to the Conservative Party, right?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Oh my goodness. It's everybody who stole the valor. She'll never come over here. It's them. Everybody who I name. It's them. The House of Lords. The real estate, the bonds, all of that shit that they took from the Americas that they're playing on that bar shit.
And so he was treasurer of the Conservative Party as well, and that involvement with politics over here got me more exposed, and it's always been something I've been very interested in anyway, so I didn't need encouragement. So I kind of went in with an open mind to sort of see a lot of different Conservative politicians, which side of the party I would fall on, develop my political philosophy, and sort of in the last few years.
So they developed their political philosophy. So that's why they can't battle me. They've been doing this since like Harry Potter type of shit, developing their little arguments, how they're going to hold their positions of power. And then Gillz, press 1, Mr. Gillespie comes from South Central out of nowhere with a flying elbow. With a flying elbow to wake up the masses of these people over here. You see, they been studying this since they was 8 years old on their political stands on how they gonna rule over you. And here I am on this, waking your crazy self up to how to defend yourself against a dweeb like him. A fucking dweeb. There is no debating a political argument dealing with this stance here. Whew. That's why I feel good about what I'm saying. That's why I'm so above these other little black Pan-Africans and Tariq Nasheeds, and because they little boys. That's little consciousness. They ain't thinking about nothing.
Brexit, so, and before the Brexit referendum, but really the Brexit referendum in the UK kind of clarified a lot of people's, where they fell on the spectrum, a lot of people's political thoughts. So after that, I kind of ramped up my political involvement, I would say. So I've been kind of more exposed to politics since 2016. Obviously, the election of the president, Donald Trump, got kind of, that has a ripple effect around the world. I mean,
it does, yeah. You guys, I mean, like just sort of like the broader UK community seem really interested in what's going on in America, and I would say that.
Yeah, that's outstanding, right?
It's true of all of Europe. People seem to be very fascinated, or all of the world, fascinated with what's going on with Donald Trump. So I guess as somebody that grew up here in London, what is the interest? What is the draw? What is it about Donald Trump that is sort of stirring up all of these conversations?
Well, what happens in America has direct impact around the rest of the world. I mean,
that's because they're controlling it.
It's the leader of the free world. It's the most powerful country on earth. It's got the largest economy, the largest military. I mean, by many objective measures, America is the greatest country in the world, on many times over.
So are you using me for American citizenship?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah,
I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Now, just to be clear, no. But it's what happens in America has a direct ripple effect. I mean, there's an expression, well, it's more a political mantra that what happens on university campuses in America.
Are you using me for political citizenship? Or citizenship?
America will 5 years.
Wow. Yes. So he can bank through her. No, not doing citizenship. No. So he can bank through her and run off with the run off with the bag. Because he's a lord. And because of who his father is, they will protect him. Damn, Candace, you fucked up.
Later happen on university campuses in Britain.
Okay.
And that's just a broader term really to encapsulate the fact that what goes on in America will eventually end up in Europe, will eventually end up influencing the world, will eventually end up being a political argument in both Britain, in France, in Germany, in Southern Europe, etc. So
I told you. Do you see how he named all of those same nations? Russia, Germany, France, all the Russian Germans, all the white supremacists, all of them. From the Bolsheviks to this one to that one. Facts, G.
The world has to be conscious of what's going on in America. You cannot divorce geopolitics from America. It's crucial. And so therefore the presidency of America has huge impacts on what goes on in Britain.
Now, do you think that is just because of the size of America?
I think it's because,
or just it's a combination of the economic factor, the size of America, the influence, I guess, we're kind of very culturally.
There's a huge number of factors which play into that. I mean, it's both the history of the countries. I mean, Britain and America have a very special relationship anyway.
Why? Well, I thought y'all got away from Britain. I thought we fought against y'all and don't like kings and queens, remember?
Right. I mean, the Anglo-American bond is very close. We speak the same language.
Oh, my goodness. The Anglo-American bond is very close. We speak the same language. Oh, geez, Louise. Who is these people?
We fought beside each other in the same wars.
Where?
We share a common philosophy on life. We share a common outlook on capitalism. I mean, Anglo-American capitalism is very different to Franco-German statism, right?
Oh my goodness. I don't want to leave from this space. I don't want to go back down there and talk about little stupid things. Oh no, this is very exciting to me. Oh, this is right down exactly what I knew was going to be coming up. I said, what is it about this week? Friday, Saturday. Some information is, yep, here we go.
It's just the mentality. In many ways, it's to do with language. It's also to do with the fact that, of course, America was born out of Britain in many ways. You know, the War of Independence, the Revolutionary War, as you call it, you know, was a war.
He said the War of Independence. He said the Revolutionary War, or the War of Independence, as y'all call it. I told y'all it's the same shit.
War against Britain, and that's part of our history as well.
Yeah, because y'all was against Britain. How are you from over there and you was against? I mean, not that you was against, but we never went against Britain. Never. That corporate lords of London and those Russian Romanov folks really did a number here in the 1900s.
And then you're tied into a bigger English-speaking world. So you've got England, you've got Britain, you've got South Africa, you've got Australia, you've got New Zealand, you've got America. These countries are united by a common language. And when we talk about the West, we don't just talk about we're not just talking about the West countries literally in the Western Hemisphere. We're talking about a political philosophy which unites Australia as well, which is not in the West, or arguably.
Yeah, well, when we say the West, we're talking about the West, the Americas. When they say the West, they talking about the axis of evil. And you talking about political philosophies and ideologies they got to subvert and overthrow.
It depends, of course, where you drop the pin in the globe, but let's just call it not the West. It's normally considered part of the East, right? So it's the political philosophy of the West is very much centered around the Anglosphere. It's centered around what Britain and America and the Western nations are doing. And America, as the most powerful nation out of all of them, sets the tone for a lot of what will follow in Western Europe and the kind of broader sphere, the West. So what goes on with the American presidency always has an impact in Britain. We're just as interested, well, we're not just as interested in it as our politics, but it certainly is a key part of our sort of political worldview. What the presidency is doing in America and how America is reacting to certain trends and developments will always be a crucial part. I mean, take an example, like, for example, the Iraq War, right? I mean, that's a key one because, it was under President George Bush that America went into Iraq, and America summoned its closest allies to follow them into the coalition, right?
Correct.
So therefore, Britain was drawn into that conflict as well. So it's kind of like what you do is not symbiotic, but we have a relationship which is very close. So therefore, we have to know how America is thinking because it affects us directly.
We got to get away from these people. Oh my goodness!
I mean, there was somebody.
Candace meet these people in 2 weeks and don't sold her people out.
Who quite entertainingly wrote an article after the Britain's just ordered some new aircraft carriers, right? And America, I believe, has 10 aircraft carriers, and the UK has 2 aircraft carriers, right? And somebody wrote an article basically saying it's completely irrelevant. You might as well just say we both have 12. Right, because that's how they think of it. The military development, the military cooperation is so close, right?
The military corporation is so close, right? I told you. The military corporation is so close. It's intertwined, is what he's saying. This whole thing is a Nazi regime. This is like the son of the man in the high castle. This is literally the son of the man in the high castle right here. Oh yeah, he played. Candice Owens needs to come to sit her goofy ass down. That's the reason why men are needed in this nation and speak, because you got white men from a different nation using a black woman that she just met to sell you a bank.
The security cooperation is so close, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, that's why I guess the election of Trump kind of then further polarized an already polarized society. I mean, we've spoken many times about Brexit and Trump.
Literally, Candice Owens is Eve in the Garden of Eden. Press 1. That is the truth. Candice Owens is Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Press 1.
She want all of the power and will give it all up. I promise you. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air. What up?
Hey, how you doing, Kev? I called you yesterday, man. It's money, man. Yo, you don't know how right you are, yo. You gotta just look up Bishop and Black's Law Dictionary. They tell you all the House of Lords are bishops, right? Then if you look up the Latin word for Episcopal, which means bishop, you'll see that it means episode. And then if you look up the word alliance and the Black Laws Dictionary, it'll tell you that in 1519, that Russia, Prussia, and Austria made a marriage alliance. And from that time on, they've been doing this shit.
Yes, sir. That's what I was talking about, that America is really the alliance itself. They use America to do all of it because America it has the estate hostage.
They're all foreign agents in what's called a denizen. So like they make treaties with the U.S. government to be able to come over here and be agents and shit, so that way if they get in trouble, whatever, they just get sent back home or shit gets swept under the rug or whatever and shit. But basically, what it is, I had this book by this fucking Swedish dude from when they first came to Delaware, and he was talking about how they set up the Swedish West Indian Company and got all the people of Sweden to invest into the company and shit, and that the whole purpose is just to come over here as foreigners and to profit off of this land and send the money back. Just like Nigerians, Africans, if you ask all them why they're here, they're going to be like, I'm here working, sending money back home. It's a piggy bank. It's like basically they just robbing our trust. They just know that they all in on it.
And they're doing it by way of like hedge fund, 501(c) military corporate bullshit that we got to get used to the lingo to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and what it is it's the whole idea of like the lady said, Mort Main, dead hands, yes. Alienation into dead hands, because there's a law against perpetuities and shit. And it's this other book called I want to say it's the Real History of Real Estate Law or some shit like that, and it talks about when they first came up with the statute of uses and how the courts and basically the church were against the nobles being able to pass on their land
yes.
to their heirs
yes.
in perpetuity.
Yes.
So all of this stuff is to keep breaking us apart and separating us from being able to inherit our land.
That's right.
Into perpetuity.
That's right. And they want you to keep reaching for what's that word that they want some money? All the black folk who want some money. What's that word they throw out?
Reparations.
Reparations when it's not about reparations, man. And
you can't even get reparations. It's in the 14th Amendment or the 13th Amendment that said that the United States government, nobody on either side can sue for their slaves being emancipated. Nobody at all can sue. It's
so
right
that's
in
going.
it.
So that's going back to the 13th and 14th Amendment, which we talk about here about enslaving and the trust busting and the robbing of the trust, and the shifting of the trust from that point forward.
Yeah, if you read the 14th Amendment, right, there's a section in there that says that the reason why they can do all of this stuff is because we can't question what they do in our defense. Hold on, I got it right here. I'm gonna tell you exactly.
Yeah, because you're barred. Because you can't question it because you're unable to speak.
Yeah, because you're a baby, you're an infant.
Exactly.
The word minority means infant.
Exactly.
You're a baby, and that means
that's why I was telling you. Yeah. That's why I told you, because you understand exactly what I mean. You can't speak. So what's the point of you knowing law when you can't speak? What the fuck? You know?
Exactly.
You're barred. You need a representative. You're not emancipated. You can't speak for yourself. So we'll do it for you.
You have to be a gentleman or a yeoman. I've been looking at like a lot of old wills and shit.
Yeah.
So a gentleman in law states that you are from a noble bloodline. A yeoman means that you're a free man. But you're not from a noble bloodline, that you're just a regular freeman.
An emancipated freeman.
Yeah, so you have to go. You see, like, it's really common law. If you go to the Code of Virginia, like Code of Virginia Title 1, subsection 200, it tells you that the United States is still under common law.
I know it.
The common law of James I.
Oh, that's King James.
Yeah, so you don't even use like the United States law itself.
You go straight to the Supreme Court.
You run it through the common law. And so common law, you got to go back to That's why she went back to the Magna Carta.
That's
and
right.
all of that stuff.
That's right. So history. That's where we need to be right there. It's right there, in that time frame.
So what it is that you are heir suis to the SEST-UK Trust, SEST-UK Use, and SEST-UKV. All that means that you're the beneficiary of the trust, the beneficiary of the use of land, and the beneficiary, and that all of this estate is measured off of your lifetime, or the lifetime of you and your people.
And that's what they stole, the Magna Carta.
Yeah. And so so what it is that, like you said, they come over here. She's legal now. Now they can manipulate and tap into the trust and be beneficiaries of the trust
by way
through
of 501c and corporation shit.
Through manipulation of the bloodline. See, that's why they need you to mix. They need you to mix so that way that you don't have more right over land than anybody else. Because what they're trying to do is get rid of all the old noble bloodline. Like I'm a Nichols.
You're a Nichols.
I can trace my bloodline all the way through all the kings, all the way back to the pharaohs in Egypt.
Come on.
And then they got other books that say that they could trace my bloodline back to Adam and Eve. And if you look in the Red Book of Exchequer, William the Conqueror, the first page on it shows how they trace his bloodline back to Adam and Eve through Shem. So your bloodline.
Oh, he's a true. He's a true Shemite.
Yeah. And so what happens is once you can trace your line back to Adam and Eve, then you're under the original trust of God that God gave to Adam. God put Adam in the garden to tend and to keep. And as long as you don't do anything bad to do it for it, then that's what the eating of the tree of good and evil is that you did something bad to get a good result.
Oh,
so
like took part in witchery and shit like that, or put hexes on people or rob people, and I got you.
The knowledge of evil to get good.
Yeah.
All right, and here it is in the 14th Amendment. The validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payments of pensions and bounties for services and suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. So that's why they keep you at war.
That's why they did the insurrection. That's why they did the shit.
That way you can't question why they spending the money, why they doing So it's just this Section 4 of the 14th Amendment. And then, you get into black suffrage and then the income tax. So it's actually the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment that is working against us.
Of course.
You're actually just a citizen under the 6th Amendment. Because the 6th Amendment is the superior law of the land. And that that law is based on all the common law, all the previous treaties, trusts, all of that shit. So you're really a citizen under the 6th Amendment, but they trick you to believe that you are a citizen under the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment.
Got you.
And if you look at the years, they all line up to the years of when all of this shit was started going down and shit.
So what book is that you was reading from?
The Constitution, the actual Constitution. That's like the Articles of the Confederation. Basically, that was the Indians. That's what we originally fought for. Was the Articles of the Confederation are the real laws of America that we fought for. That the Indians fought for. That everybody came here and fought for. Was the Articles of Confederation. And then the Civil War, which was actually happened in 1836, which was the Civil War between the Indian nations, but then they played into the Civil War over into the 50s, 60s, some shit like that. But what happened was that that the Civil War that we know of was fought to usurp the Articles of Confederation. Because the Articles of Confederation gave each individual Indian nation still their autonomy and sovereignty.
The Articles of Confederation is what to the Bill of Rights?
The Articles of Confederation are actually the Bill of Rights. Like if you actually read it, it's not spelled out, but it is saying little each section. It'd be like you got the freedom of this, you got the freedom of that. You see what I'm saying? And they outline it in the Articles of Confederation. It's just not singled out like we think of it. But it's all the same stuff in the Articles of Confederation, except that the federal government doesn't have the power to make all these crazy treaties and do all the shit that they're doing so that foreigners can take advantage, because they realize that like I said in the beginning of why they even coming over here, was that they were creating whole countries, was putting up to create companies to send their asses over here in order to basically in order to take over through infestation and disease. It's basically that's what it is. You got an infestation of an infection of a disease, which is these people. And so that's how they overrun us. That's why they keep sending people over all that shit. It's just been that's just how they do it. This is how they invade through disease and just
immigration and usurping of government. Like over time though, maybe 10 years beforehand, we was watching that video.
These motherfuckers got like 200. That's why they got 200-year leases and shit. So all their kids can be good and shit. Fucking who's the dude, Andrew Johnson, the first dude that had a slave. So where I'm from Delaware, like from when they first started building all this shit. So like when I started looking into my family and looking into all the history, you see all the history of like exactly how they did this shit, right? Andrew Johnson, after he moved from South North Carolina, moved up to, I want to say it's Fredericksburg or Fredericksburg, Delaware, Maryland, Delaware, that area, and bought like 300 acres, or at least like 300 and some acres for like 200 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole plan. They all companies. So you got to look into the three estates, right? Your estate is a personality, and so they just put on personalities for each estate that they're trying to build. You see what I'm saying? And so, like the person that Andrew Johnson might not even been that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. They was taking. They was using names as shell companies, like as strawmen.
Exactly. Just like that's what your name is now. Like you're a person right now.
Yeah, but they're using it as a strawman as well. So they have an account somewhere on the stock market, some goddamn where, and further out just in the banking world, full of numbers and shit. And we don't see that or nothing.
Because we think that a person is just an individual, but what they're trying to say is that a person is you and everybody in your household. You see what I'm saying? And then the head of the household becomes the agent of the house. And then the agent is the one that had the ability to go out in the world and interact with all these companies through agency and shit. So a man is supposed to be the agent of his wife. His wife is supposed to be the agent of the children.
Yeah, like the representative, and in that order. But there have been no head of household or no agent in our household because of the breaking down of the family, which is the what I call the cutting off the Negro's head.
It's waste. So all of this is to get to the waste. For us to create waste.
Wasteful spending. What that does is it gets the household ran, because women are ran. They get the women to run under materialism, and they create the wasteful spending, and they will train their young to wasteful spend. Buy shoes that are 50 times over their market value. All of this is wasteful spending. When they can say, how much does the black folk bring in a year? And they got these numbers. Every year they come with these numbers to generate this wasteful spending persona on television and Black Fridays and this one and that one. But it goes even deeper than that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so the actual waste needs in the law is the damage that you're causing to the residue and the remainder of your heirship for the next person in line, right? So because you're damaging your heirs' legacy, then what they say is they have the right under common law to step in to remedy you from damaging your own shit. And the reason why you're spending all this money is because if you spend all this money on other shit, you're not taking care of your property.
That's right.
So then if your property wastes away, then they could come in and take your estate.
That's
and then
right.
also once you get under the criminal system and all that,
but become trustees over it, and at that point, yeah, they took it because you can't manage it correctly. Go ahead.
Yeah, because under Virginia law, under the law of the Commonwealth or whatever, all lands that are waste revert back to the state. All wastelands go back to the state. So this is all about the state trying to keep recycling the land to these foreigners and shit, and trying to keep us from claiming the land so they can have more land to keep recycling to these motherfuckers.
So it's a continuing not honoring the original contract where you got to give it back to the original landowners. Is if you keep them in perpetual war, keep them in a perilous state, you keep them wasteful spending up to par, you can keep them totally off their mark.
You just keep them running around here like crazy kids.
That's all you got to do. Keep what they said again, brother, loud and clear.
All you gotta do is keep them running around like crazy kids, because that's all we is a bunch of babies running around this motherfucker talking about, that's my baby, this my crib.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
right.
That's my boy. Like, that's my dog. Like, nothing that you say to each other, nothing that we ever say to each other is, that's a gentleman, that's a man. Just, you know what I'm saying? We recognize each other as what they call monsters. And you become a monster by being born, by being a bastard. A bastard is a monster. A mixed person is a mongrel. And you see what I'm saying? And so what they do in the real language of the law, you know what I'm saying? They know what they talk about, but we talk
you're
about
acting it out in a real way. So they're speaking metaphysically in law and in law and in metaphysics, and you're naturally that's what it does. That's how curses work. Shit.
But that goes back to the bishopric and the word bishop coming from the word epistle, which means episode. So they just keep you trapped in these episodes, these reruns, all of this shit.
Reruns and episodes, and I get it. In this Shakespearean-like entertainment life that we live, rather than becoming free and even nobles and even heirs, we rather be entertained 13th and 14th citizens.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but we did it. Like, we made this system, right?
Yes.
And what it is this: at some point, between all the wars and the Indian wars, because all the Indian shit, that shit is not in America. All that shit was worldwide. Like,
right.
There was no old world, new world. What happened was around 1000 AD, it was a big ass flip, because again, the Swedish writer, when he wrote the book, he talks about how the Swedes sent the Norwegians sent Leif Erikson, his brothers, his sisters, for generations over this bitch, trading back and forth. And when they first got over here, they said that it was still whales and sharks all over the beaches from the flood that had happened. So it was some type of catastrophe that happened. That's why William the Conqueror went into Europe when he did, because he didn't conquer Europe. It doesn't mean conquer doesn't mean conquest. Like I'll go over and I'll fuck you up and take your shit.
I got you.
To obtain. And what happened is that.
So we can. So after the floods comes the conquering, the attainment of things.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, the common recovery of all the lands.
Got you. That makes sense on how they did things here in the 1900s when they came over here after the floods as well. But anything else, brother?
No, I just wanted to let you know, because you be right there, you know what I'm saying? I'm like you got it, you know what I'm saying? It's just the words now. It's just the language. Like now, all I do is just read law dictionaries and shit, and try to find like old ass law books from like the 1500s and shit, and read that shit for real. Like what they really be talking about, you know what I'm saying? And all this shit got to do with SLC. You don't see that everywhere. SLC, and that means like that's mine for me and my heirs in perpetuity or whatever and shit. And then everything else is built around that idea of how do you claim something as a fee, to where it's a freehold, to where it's just yours and you don't owe nobody for it.
That's what old girl was talking about in that video.
Yeah, exactly. But as Indians, see, as Indians in the future, so a Native American is somebody that could trace their bloodline back to before 1745, right? So anybody that can do that, white, black, whatever, those people are considered Native Americans. But also because you was here before America started, then you actually get what's called full interest in the soil itself.
After the
you see what I'm saying? Nobody else gets that, but you get actual interest in the soil.
Where is
so
that? Where does that say? Where you get that from?
This is from a old. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's from an old ass law book. It's called. Hold on. Let me tell you right now. We have a bunch of old law books and shit. This one's on archive.org too.
Got you. I got you. Go ahead.
I'm just waiting for it to load up. Hold on, here you go. Hey, you need to look into heraldry too, man. Like you gotta look into your heraldry.
Well, that'll come. Like I'm not concerned with that as of yet, because I know a lot, but I don't want to put too much on people's minds all at one time, because I have a whole curriculum going. But yeah, soon enough, when everything in divine order. That's why the ladies they just want to play.
So this is called American Law and Procedure by James Parker Hall, 1871 to 1928, and it's the book should be 448 pages if we pull it up. But it's a bunch of different volumes to it, though. You want the one that says the history of real property law in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And he just walks you all the way through it by like this king said this king said that, this queen did this is why this is like it is, all the way going back to Rome. And so this is the actual real law, real property law. So you read this, after you read this, you really will know what these motherfuckers is talking about as far as like taking land. And you can just go, because you're heir, everything is your fee as of law or fee in law. So when you step on any property, you can claim that shit.
Well, not really. That's like squatters type of shit. Like
it's not really. So it's more like this, because it kills a proper heir.
But listen. This is what I want to say is, that is their manifest destiny. That's what they use to claim and take things. That's all. That's what they use to.
No, they do. But what I'm saying is that you can use it too to get yours back. See what I'm saying? It tells the proper heir to the actual heir in law steps on the land. Then the next closest heir, which would be the actual people up that was here from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So like we all cousins that was here in the beginning, right? So as long as my cousin ain't living on his land, I can go take that land until my cousin get it. But if we really want to get over all of this shit, then what we will really do is just recognize that we all one family, or put all our families back together, and then it's called it's a law called the Indian title. And in that one, it says as soon as we pick a monarch, we get our shit back.
There you go. Say
and this is from all the kings and queens.
Now wait a minute. I was just about to go there. As soon as you pick a monarch, what?
You get all your lands back.
It happens instantly. Soon as you pick a monarch, you receive what's yours. Soon as you pick a monarch, not a Republican, not a Democrat, soon as that's all biblical stuff. I hope you call back when we go into that, man. I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, man, you know, I enjoy your show. You more than anybody out here, you actually are trying to educate far as like the law, and that's what people really need to know, man. You could be a rocket scientist, but if you don't know the law, they'll take your shit from you all day.
Facts. Thank you for the call, champion. Anytime.
All right, you too.
My man. Exactly what we've been saying. You're not a damn Democrat. You really don't have a king. That's what we've been saying this whole time. You really just don't have a king. As soon as you get a king, but it's already written. They already know this because they're in possession of the Magna Carta and who is already lying to be that. That's the thing about y'all. That's the thing about what these foreigners don't got. They only have a federal government. They only have amendments. You don't have to be a 13th and 14th Amendment. You can have them honor the contract. Remember what God said. Remember the rainbow. Skittles tell you to taste the rainbow. God said, remember the covenant. Remember the contract. Honor the contract. That's what it's about. Y'all too busy. Y'all got wrapped up in political squabbles that don't really concern you. That's why everything you do hurt you, because it doesn't concern you at all. You're not black. You're not that. That's for those federal workers, like that young lady said. That's for the foreigners. Do you think the people who been downplaying you, talking down on you, wishing bad shit on you, people from different nations, you think they want to see you become the beneficiary of something they ain't got no control over? They don't have no power or no right or no divine spiritual blockage to stop a natural process. They don't hold that authority spiritually or mentally or physically or nothing. I realize niggas just be talking. Female niggas, people on earth just be talking. They got the wrong perception. I'm up here rolling the blunt. Me and his brother talking about law. Candice Owens probably mad as hell, but this her husband. Press one. This is shit we up against right here. This is shit we up against. And she up in front of us talking down on us. And look at me and this brother talking about law in many different time periods. Somebody said, we the people. Exactly. Exactly. And that's why you got to separate yourself from the world. That's why. Because the world is, everybody out there is against you. That's why. Democrat and Republican, all of them. They all want to dibble and dab in your beneficiary. Wait till you get it. Wait, just fathom how long this been going on once it's in the air. You get me? How long have they been withholding this from you? How many people have died and drugs and gangs and what they were using as equity, as payment, sufficient payment to you? Wait till you find things like that out. That is what really hurt, is that they used the crack epidemic to pay your ass what they felt you was owed. Wait till you find that out. Make sure you support the broadcast. My cash app, my cash tag is Gillz Gang. Support the truth. Shout out to the people who supported the truth as we were going along. You know, I got to do the marketing, the editing, everything over here. Shout out to Mr. Terrell Bay for award-winning reporting. Shout out to Mr. Bay out there in the world, my man. Journey is in the world. Shout out to you, Taj, for you, the truth king. Shout out to you. So y'all enjoyed this conversation, okay? Dottie McDottie, shout out to you, Dottie. Terrence Winborn, shout out to you. Hey, Bowcat, shout out to you. My man Jason Harris. My man Jason Harris, though. Shout out to you, King. Nelda B. You get a heart. Press 1. Nelda B gets a heart. Nelda and Jason gets a heart. Press 1. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room who support the broadcast by any way that you can, whether it's to keeping the chat room floating about, whether you calling in, whether you taking part in the electrical charge. See, that's what the charge. See, the money ain't nothing to me. It's just an electrical charge that keeps it going. Press 1. You ever seen the Easter Bunny? Boom, 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 boom. Well, I'm copper. Press 1. Like a Duracell battery. Press 1. You gotta charge me up. I can just keep going. Boop, boop, boop. Press 1. I could be talking about O Block. I could be talking about RICO cases. I can be talking about Gunna getting denied bail. Press 1. I can be talking about this. I can have y'all brain exactly. You know I can do it too. You know I will get up here and clout chase my ass off for a week. I got 1,000 people up in this bitch. But we prefer the university. We prefer to be responsible with our thinking. You feel me? We don't want to be like DJ academics losing our brains. You feel me? We don't want to be like the dweeb community. And if we wrong, let us be wrong. But we still get a fucking E for effort, like Nip say. Press 1. We still get an E for effort. We still trying to figure out what happened. How did this happen to where Candice Owens can marry a Lord of London? He come over here, use her for a citizenship, start a banking company like Tasha K. Press 1. Start a banking company to convince a conservative like myself to leave the Democratic Party and come over there and do some banking. I'd rather do banking with Killer Mike. I'd rather get a fucking Killer Mike bank card. Press 1. I'd rather G. Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all gotta understand, this nation was just robbed. When that brother was bringing up the 13th and 14th Amendment and the 6th Amendment, that all brought up honoring the contract. We got to get into these amendments. We got to, man, I've been looking at books, like the brother said, these books cost over $100 damn though. It take a lot of discipline not to buy some video games and buy a book. You feel me? But that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You got to apply yourself. And that's where the reward come in. I found the reward of us figuring this out was worth the book. You feel me? It was worth the book. The shoes would have wore out. Look, all my Nikes around. Press 1. They ain't did nothing. My Nike ain't even went nowhere outside. Press 1. They barely get put on, take trash out and shit. Press 1. Might buy a goddamn shoe when you can buy a book. And these books ain't even on YouTube. I thought YouTube had all the information. It don't. It got people who can talk about different things, but your own input, thought process surrounding it is what gives it its own unique star power. You become a star in your own right, and you get to going, and the information feeds you. You feel me? And it gives you the confidence to keep going. Don't look at nobody ain't listening. I looked at nobody ain't listening as a thrust, as to, you know, the Kobe pivot off of all the cousins and aunties and sisters and brothers who really can't conceive. I was practicing with their ass. Press 1. Throwing them all off balance during the Trump and Biden administration. Sharpening my sword, getting real good. You feel me? Now they can't fuck with me. Know all their weaknesses. Yeah. I went to Half Price Bookstore and got a Bill of Rights Constitution for $4. That's what's up. That's what's up. I got a Bill of Rights book sitting right there. I just haven't read it yet. I just want them. I'm waiting on my bookshelf right now as we speak. I'm waiting on my book. Shout out to Julie Underwood. I'm waiting on my bookshelf right now so I can put my books up there and read. Facts. Ain't nothing better than that. Drop the wasteful spin and spin on your future. You can spin on your future. Look, what's this? UCC connection. How to free yourself from legal tyranny. Yeah. Tyranny. You know, but most of these books, like the brother was going back into the 15 and 17 and the first dynasty, you ain't even got to go back that far. How fast? What did I tell y'all? And this what makes him dope, is he ain't even got to go back that far. All he got to do is go back to George Washington, Andrew Jackson, Thomas Jefferson. Who is this? George Washington, James Madison, press 1, Benjamin Franklin, which they cut their last names off the Negroes. This is all one family, all in business, doing the same thing. But we gonna get to it, family. We gonna get to it. I don't know who that was right there. Shout out to my man Swish right there. We gonna keep that information rolling. We're going to keep that. We started off with Candice Owens, but, you know, her man led us to the truth. Because I'll never forget that this is Candice Owens' husband. I'll never forget this shit. Never.
I think the debates are very similar on both sides of the Atlantic. You know, you can draw direct parallels.
Right, and I think that's why Nigel, in many ways, has gone so far here with Brexit. And it's the one thing that I will say that I really noticed differently about our two cultures.
That's why I said, no, I'm going to be an urban conservative. No, hell no. I don't want to be with them, though. They scare me. These type of folks scare me.
Which is actually one of the questions that someone asked, but it's just when
you gotta go, when you marry somebody after 2 weeks, I mean, I know you know. All right, I get it, fine, but nah.
Just don't say what you mean here. Like, if there's this British way of talking around everything and not really saying what you mean, and sort of being American can be very offensible when you just come out and we just sort of say it. And that's not, I mean, on one level it's nice.
Can you just clarify that?
Right, exactly. On one level it's nice, and I think that you guys are trying to be polite, but when me and Charlie were speaking at the universities, I actually saw a lot of danger in terms of the way that you guys don't have free speech here. Or maybe you guys are just not even willing to have free speech speech here, and certain things are considered sort of improper to talk about, right? And you're kind of considered inflammatory if you talk about things that are actually happening here, right? And so talking to a lot of the journalists, there's this really weird culture of not saying what you mean or pretending that you don't see what's going on.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So you can identify that in his culture? Wait a minute. Am I bugging? Am I bugging? So you can identify that in his culture? You can identify that. That is the craziest shit I ever heard. That how they play blind and ignorant, and they play like a bunch of Stans and Karens. Press one.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there was an article there was an interview I did with publication in London, I think earlier on this year, and they described my Twitter feed as inflammatory. And really, I don't really think of it as inflammatory. I just think of it as stating the obvious.
The truth.
Exactly. And I think you're probably talking to the wrong Brit about this, because I tend to be quite blunt about things, and I tend to be pretty straightforward. But yeah, there is a culture of politeness over here where it's just not British to say certain things, or at least look, the avoidance of conflict is a key part of the British psyche.
Here's the thing. I think you have to differentiate the difference between being polite and being politically correct. So you can be polite, right? If you walk in and you see somebody that's really obese, it's not necessarily to be like, hey, you're fat. Right? That's just like, that's just impolite, right?
Yeah,
but the difference is political.
Okay, but because you go at Lizzo.
Correctness is almost ignoring the truth, right? So politically correct, which is like when we did that interview with the London Times, and I was sort of talking about the things that really matter that you should be talking about, at least here in Europe, which is the migrant crisis, which we're seeing what Germany's going through, we're seeing what Sweden is going through, and the journalist looked at me like I had 10 heads, and it was just sort of like, we don't talk about the migrant crisis here. That's political correctness, right? Where that's actually, you're treading a different territory, and it's something that could ultimately be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're completely right, but at the end, the truth will out. Is an old adage which I think is relevant. I mean, you've got, in the same way that I think America probably suffers from a similar. There is a similar disease in America.
Certainly on the university level,
but there's also an inability to. I mean, for example, like look at your politics. Right? It got to a stage where the Republicans were fielding these really nice guys, right? I mean, Mitt Romney was a really nice guy. Like most people, I don't know him personally, but I'm told, and certainly by the way he interviews, he was a very nice guy, right? And he got crushed, right? And it took somebody with the bravado and the sort of bombacity of Donald Trump to come in and shake up the political system and say, "Hey guys, stop being so nice about this. We've got to fight back." And I think in the same way in the UK, we're reaching that point where we're just like, we're fielding very nice people. It's like, oh, everyone's terribly nice, right? Now, Nigel Farage comes in and says, wake up, right? We've got to stop being nice about the European Union. It's crushing our nation, right? And he comes in and
the European Union and the United Nations both is crushing the nations.
Shakes up the entire political system.
Right.
There is a point at which, look, the ultimate weapon that everybody in a democratic nation has is the ballot box. Right. In the UK, we don't have the same gun laws. We're not going to, we cannot resist government control, but we can fight it through the ballot box, right? And that eventually, at the end of the day, the one X in the voting ballot slip is what we have as a weapon.
Right.
You see that? Now stop there. Now stop right there. Now, that's not our weapon. Our weapon is not to go vote. Our weapon is not to vote at all. See, they want us to vote. Bad. They want us to take part because it must be an agreement by you. But if you don't take part, just don't. It has no effect on you. And you know that. If you don't vote, so what? We've been black our whole life. We've been like this our whole life. Whether middle class, lower, it doesn't matter. We the same folk. We the same folk. That shit don't have no effect. The only thing that has an effect on your life is your local city politics and state representatives. You ain't got no the president don't run your life. And in real life, your state is your country. That's where your laws is. Why you think in Cali we just smoke weed and shit? We can't go to places that we don't. People in California don't even visit places that ain't got no weed. It's illegal. We don't like feeling like criminals like that. We think that's some weird shit. Y'all go to jail with it? A nickel bag a week get you how much? Oh shit! I'm moving tomorrow. Press 1. So you don't have to vote. That's their political way of making you think that's your weapon. We were just talking about your weapon is common law. Your weapon is supreme law, the Supreme Court. Your weapon is something totally different than I'm gonna go change by the president. That's not a weapon. Donald Trump come back for 2 years, he get out in 2 years, and then what? Then what? Where you at again? Where we at again? Bouncing back and forth, bouncing back, until they give you, when you got the power to either establish your own political party, go off and vote for something else. What the brother say? Establish a monarchy within your own nation. Many other things, and they just make you think there's only one way, and that's to vote for your own demise. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Big Mar, I don't care if you burning one down. You're not allowed to talk here no more. Because you worried about me seeing you smoke with emojis and that type of shit when my phone lines are open. My Cash App is open. My support unit is open. My phone lines is open. Big Mar. I don't care what type of weed you smoking. I don't care about that. I don't do this shit to be cool for you. So they can say you chose it. There you go. So it's legal. You chose this. There you are right there. You chose this. Look, you chose this. You chose this. You chose, and that's what gives it the machine-like Mickey Mouse puppet government. But you're in control the whole time. The government, this whole nation is only acting like that because the people you sent to represent you is nasty because you're nasty. They're out of bounds and they're crooked because you're out of bounds and you're crooked. Your men aren't focused on law and to say, hey, we'll see y'all senators down there this week at the capital city, all of us. We're going to bring all the rappers down there and barbecue. We're going to be listening to Chief Keef as we peaceful protest in front of the Capitol building. We're going to be spraying twerk miss everywhere. But righteously, no, we here. No, we got the right to organize peacefully, and they messing up Article H8407. That's how we do it, right? I'll turn the beat on. Press 1. But where are y'all? Worrying about, oh, women don't like us. Women are hurt and battered. They are independent. Oh, males don't like unsubmissive women. You know what make women submit? Your mind, your brain, nigga. How could you manifest? Nigga, show her something she ain't never seen. She gotta take these words and make things manifest, nigga. Press 1. That type of shit. You don't do that, y'all. They get bored of these cars. Cool, you got a car. Cool. Rims on it. Cool, you listen to music. Cool, you know all the Lil Wayne, Lil Durk songs. Cool. That shit get old after a while. If you don't got this and your brain ain't focused on God and this right here, God and this, so you can bam and impress your woman, press 1. I don't know what you're doing. I really don't know what you're doing. I'm out here battling corporate giants. out here battling big old corporate giant. You can slicing them up with you. Bam. Candice Owens travels the world. She up here defending herself about if she's a Caribbean, if she's American. Press 1. She don't know if she's a Kardashian or what. Kevin calls me Kardashian now. Press 1. Now when she watching my shows, she got to listen to us possibly say Candice Kardashian. Press 1. Lord have mercy. Shout out to the people who support this broadcast, though. We've been on the air for 2 hours and 41 minutes. We got about 10 more minutes left in the show. Right? Let's buy land and farm. That's sexy. No, that ain't sexy. That's hard work. You playing. Ain't nobody finna buy no land with you and you playing. You talking about buy some land. I'm not talking about buying no land. That's sexy. That shit hard work. That shit hard work. Candice Eve Kardashian, Lords of London. Press 1. That's her new name. Candice Eve Kardashian. From the Lords of London. Press 1. Pirates of the Caribbean to the Lord of the Rings. Press 1. From Pirate of the Caribbean to the Lord of the Rings. So she just met her husband. She ain't got no reason to talk about nobody. Come on now. Do y'all think they had sex on the first day? Yep. Was it to Cardi B music? Probably. Press 1. See, she had sex. She met a man and married him within 2 weeks. You don't have sex, bro. Y'all had sex, bro, before marriage. Quit playing and quit lying. And he needs to come on to the black community, Candice. Why you ain't never introduced him? Press 1. Candice Owens, why you ain't never introduced him to the black people? Press 1. You up here talking all this shit. You ain't never introduced your buddy Kyle. Press 1. Never introduced Kyle. You running around with Kanye holding hands. Holding hands, white lives matter. And why you didn't bring him with you? Big old tall glass of milk like himself. Press 1. He would have loved to sit up there with y'all. You would have put him right in the middle. Press 1. Y'all would have looked like a what? An ice cream sandwich. Just like I said. Press 1. If you would have put him in the middle of Kanye with a Black Lives Matter sweater, it would have made sense. It would have made stupid sense, okay? But since y'all want to make think this is a game, you should have put him in the middle and made a fucking White Lives Matter ice cream sandwich. Yes, ma'am. They say not the tall glass of milk. Yeah, looking like a straight tall glass of Lithuanian milk. Press 1. Goat milk. Press 1. Lord have mercy. Oh, she gonna try to get me kicked off the internet for that one. But he's over here being anti-fucking what would you do for a Klondike bar? Press 1. We need to ask Candace some serious questions while she talking about us. Like, is her husband circumcised by the church? Press 1. He got a wiggler. Press 1. That white man. I'm retarded. Oh my goodness. I wonder how far I'll get with this one. Oh my goodness. I wonder how they did it. Press 1. I wonder if you wear black condoms. Press 1. Hey, give me the black one, the colored black, please, right here. I got a black woman. Press 1. I bet you that's awkward. You walk in Lord have mercy. You know it's snow where he at. Press 1 24/7. He don't never go to the beach. I'm melting. Press 1. This nigga go to the beach. Oh, this nigga gonna be red. Press 1. This nigga gonna melt. That nigga gonna look like a straight Hershey cookies and cream bar stuck in a car. Press 1. Lord have mercy. This nigga will dissolve right in your hand in California. Lord have mercy. You better not wear no shorts. Lord have mercy. Woo. Hey, bro, that shit ain't no joke when your skin do that type of shit. That shit's scary. Press 1. Coffee and Kush TV. I enjoy every bit of this, and I'm gonna leave this show today since we got about 15 minutes left. I'm gonna end it off with a great laugh from my friend DJ DJ Hamsterdemics in the Dweeb Committee. And since we're looking at this guy right here, Candice Owens' husband, we might as well look at the Dweeb Committee. Why not? Why not? Why not look at DJ Academics and Sneaky O of the dweeb community? More dweebs, more everywhere. It's like a fucking infestation of fucking lameness and dweebs. Press 1. And I blame Andrew Tate. I blame Andrew Tate for this shit. That's why I was going at him so hard, bro. Because I knew what he was creating, bro. A whole nation full of dweebs. Press 1. And when dweebs get power, whoo, these little Napoleon motherfuckers. Press 1. When dweebs get power, this is power. This microphone, being able to speak. And how many people up in here? How many people in here right now? Let me see. Let me see how many people up in this damn room. Get a precise number or whatever. 500 people. 500 damn people up in here, right? That's powerful. That's powerful. You know, I thank y'all. You know how many YouTubers in the world, people live streaming, and they got 2 people, 1 person, nobody watching, but they got something to say. So believe me when I tell you, I'm honored. I thank y'all for that. Just being there and being an ear for me, because there's a lot of people in the world that don't even know how to get 10 people in a chat room, and they like still going, bro. I watched it like, damn, I'm fuck that. You know, and they got they got so much to say, and to have 100 people, 200 people, they like, oh my god. So damn, that made me reconnect with the reason why I do this is for y'all. You know, I don't want to get lost in the world forgetting about who's been there. You know, Professor, Cairo University, Coffee and Kush. You know, within it all, good and bad, I thank my supporters and the people who watched this program for years. Don't get that shit fucked up. I still think about people that ain't even around no more. Press 1. Just because it's funny. I see their names in old shows like... like, damn. But anyway, back to these dweebs. Listen to DJ Hamsterdemics and his ability to take things to the next level and disrespect. And what I mean by dweebs is these dudes get a little power. Fresh and Fit podcast, Sneaky O, all these dudes who spend their time talking about women 24/7 don't develop a sick, twisted mentality. And it's pretty abusive, if you ask me. That's why I was talking about the Charleston White situation yesterday and how he needs to be off the internet. I'm not saying DJ Academics need to be off the internet or nothing like that, but he does take it a little bit too far, and I do want my audience to watch this.
Hey, baby, like you got to stop like be acting like weird.
I want you guys to watch this because well, maybe not. Maybe my laptop said, you know what? To hell with this stuff. Press 1. I'll bring it back in another show. I'll bring it back later on tonight, or I'll take it to my other channel, or find some way to talk about this. But Coffee and Kush TV, I appreciate all of y'all folk who come out and watch this show. And as always, family, see y'all tomorrow at Cairo University, of course. Oh my goodness, what's going on today? What's going on? It's like I just froze up.
I might get a bit of my
All right, there you go.
I love this.
Fringe occurrence that is being used, in my